So first impressions of the car. Seats, you sit low, you're snug. Quite a big guy, as people are aware, but you know, and I'm 6 foot, but I feels like I'm sort of 5'8", 5'9". I feel really sat quite low in this car. Nice early impressions, and the ride is certainly not too harsh at all on these. What's the suspension? Is it IBAC, you said?
No, Bilstein C14s.
Yes. And so just a little feather there in 4th gear, no revs at all. The car picks up, as you would expect, a 3 litre turbo to do. Just ticking it along this road. Quite a smooth bit of tarmac here. You've obviously got more road noise because of the open nature of no rear seats and stripped out nature of it. Dropping the 3rd into 2nd gear here. Just give it a little acceleration. Should come out there. 2,000 revs. 3. Oh. 2nd to 3rd. Oh, this is modern day performance.
Bang for buck, a 135, 140. I don't think you can top it out with anything else.
But they would say all the power without the control. But if you do the right things, LSD, suspension, brakes,
and the LSD is like, it's a no-brainer.
And it's, for me, it's almost the first go-to thing, especially with regard to how much these engines can deliver.
Yeah, definitely.
Standard on the N55 for the 135s, it was about 320, was it standard?
Yeah, I think it is 320, yeah.
And this is 380 now, is it?
380. When it was set up on the rolling road, it didn't have the charge pipe or the bigger cooler on it.
Yeah.
So Jeremy did that after, on the advice of the guy that tuned the car.
Right.
Not because he was looking for more power, but it will probably be about another 10 or 15 brake.
Yeah.
But just for the cooling.
Yes.
That was the reason, to keep it cool.
Yeah.
Which is what turbo cars suffer from, heat soak.
Yeah. So we're just going to come through this crossroads here, and I'll just open the car up a little bit and to see what this 380 brake horsepower feels like. Engine's very docile as well at low revs. It's easy to drive, just ticking along, isn't it? 2,000 revs. So here, 1,500 revs, 2nd gear, just shade under 20 miles an hour, and then just accelerates to 2,000, 3, 4, comes on, big boost into 3rd, that little short throw, and before you know it, you're just on the north side of speed limit there, and the pickup is so linear. It's almost, it doesn't exactly feel like a turbocharged car. It's just really linear all the way. It doesn't stop pulling. Some turbocharged cars, they run out of puff, and this just keeps going and going. I took it up to 6,000. I know it goes up to, I think it's 7, isn't it? You were saying, Dad.
It's to do with the remap and the way it's mapped. That gives you that linear power, where as soon as you gun it, it just starts pulling, and the curve is just like that. And peak torque is at 6,500.
I know, which is really high. Twin scroll turbo though, isn't it? Sounds really nice. But you don't have to rev it out though.
No.
As well. You can hear that it's a turbo though.
Yeah.
It might not necessarily feel like it, the way it pulls hard. And I would argue that's almost similar to the JDM imported Impreza STIs, which are twin scrolls turbos, that pull much harder than the UK spec ones. It's almost the same here. It pulls really, really hard. And the pedals are nicely positioned, nice and close and compact as well. But then when you back off and we come back into a 30, the engine's not struggling at 1500 revs. It's because it's a modern day car. It's relatively easy to drive as well.
Yeah, it's docile, like you said.
It is.
You can just drive it normally and go shopping in it.
Yeah.
And you know it'll do. You know, obviously it's not a shopping car in this spec, but if you had a standard one,
yes,
you could still have it remapped the same.
Yeah.
You could put a bit of suspension on it, and you know you could do your track day, and you could drive to Scotland on holiday.
So the big subject, I suppose, is manual or auto, because the M140, the Aaron's M140 that has been on the channel a few times, it is a great gearbox. I mean, for sure. And then when I drove Jace's Cayman GTS with PDK as well, modern day, they do offer a different driving experience, but I don't know, I'm probably a little bit too old school. You're going to be a few tenths slower round a lap because you're doing your own gear changes, but you know what? That's a trade-off I'm willing to make for that little bit more engagement. And you have to have more engagement with a manual compared to an auto. And it's a notchy, short throw, stubby, but nice action gearbox. Steering's light. Again, it's really hard to get the car to load up on in January in a bumpy B road, but yeah, quite light. Not masses of feedback, but you'll know more, Dan, on track when you can start to really push on, I suppose.
Yeah, the camber plates and the suspension secret stuff on the front end, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
For BMWs, they're the go-to if you got the money.
Yes.
And it makes a massive difference. I mean, it's running, like
it's very direct, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, you just a twitch to the left, twitch. It's almost telepathic. You're ready to go, and as soon as you start going, the car is turning in, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's certainly crisp. The brakes, they give you lots of modulation as well, and the way this N55, cracking the way it pulls, really, really addictive. The turbos, you can hear it spinning up, and the noise, and it's just absolutely adds drama to it. Again, I'm only dipping my toe into the performance here. It's damp, it's moist, it's cold, 3 degrees here. Far from ideal, but this is a track car, and I cannot believe a track car is going down these roads as well as it is, Dan.
It's a lovely ride.
You expect it to be bone-shatteringly firm and hard, and brakes a little bit squeaky and a bit grabby because they're not up to track temperature, and they're not at all. You just put a little bit of pressure, slight bit of pressure, and you've got a little bit of retardation, just a little bit more, and it's very linear the way the brakes feed in as well.
It's a great setup.
It's a car that over time you'll get to learn and build your confidence, and you don't necessarily want a car you can jump in and within 15 minutes you're absolutely at ease with it. You want a little bit trepidation. You need to be able to learn the car.
And a car like this, or any car with power, you've got to respect it.
Absolutely.
Because if you get it wrong, it's going to bite you.
It is. And we know by just looking on forums, the 135, 140, backwards into a ditch, Cat S, Cat N cars everywhere. Right, we're going to pull up here. I'm going to jump out. I'm going to let Dan jump in, and Dan will just be a little bit more aggressive, I think. just showing a bit of fun there. So have you removed traction control now?
Yeah, traction's off and it's Sport Plus.
So what does Sport Plus do then in a manual? Does it do anything then? Is it
basically it just gives you a little
throttle response?
Yeah. And obviously the driver aids are off.
Yes.
You've always got a bit of ABS.
Okay.
You can't turn that off.
Can you turn traction control fully off?
Yeah, traction's off now.
Yeah,
There's nothing. It's just, you know.
So you were working out the Wave Track LSD then? Got a little bit of a...
Yeah, oh, it's great fun. But again, you know, like we said, in these conditions, on the road, you've got to watch it. Because if you get ambitious, it can all go wrong ever so quickly.
Yeah, yeah. So how many times have you took this on track so far?
So once. Just
once?
Donington Park, yeah.
And how did you find it?
It was just awesome.
Okay, right, okay.
I'm learning the car.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was respectful of it.
Yeah.
It was a cold day like today, but there was a lot more damp in the air and the track never drew. There was no dry line at all at any part of the day. It was very slick, which is a good, you know, learning curve. And by the afternoon...
It is, and it means speeds would have been lower as well. Sometimes it's better to learn a car in those cold conditions, damp conditions, where everything's 60-70% the speed compared to a bone dry hot track day, because when something goes then it tends to be that bit quicker, that bit less predictable, and you're just going faster.
Yeah, exactly. And it's less wear on the tyres.
It is. Brakes is easier, and they're cheaper in the winter track days.
Yeah, definitely.
So we sort of started this two-part video talking about the 12k budget, and I know, Dan, you've put a couple of K into it with the LSD, etc., and so 14k, I suppose. But there is, what could you get? And I did pose a question on YouTube. I did pose a question on Instagram about GT86, Megane 275. There's a lot of really nice cars. You could go lightweight, you could go for a Westfield, but if you're going to be really, really extreme. But deep down, if you want power, and with what you've done with the LSD and all the suspension mods and the brakes and things, you're going to go any quicker on a track than this car.
Absolutely, yeah.
I would struggle to think of another car that's got... Because if you wanted to, you could absolutely extract a lot more power out of that if you wanted to as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You've been relatively conservative with that Stage 1 map.
Yeah.
You've got one hell of a car here.
Yeah.
So I think the big surprise for me, Dan, driving the car, and including as passenger then, is that I think I started the video by saying that track cars are normally not that good on the road. This feels like a really usable road car that is and can be used hard on track as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's club sport spec.
It is, and it just feels it's modern day. You've got performance that will match most track day cars, but you've got usability. Well, apart from you've got no rear seats, but you've got usability in regard to it's just a family hatch car.
Yeah.
You can put a supermarket shop in the back if you wanted to.
Yeah,
you could take it on a 5-day road trip if you wanted to. The ride is actually really good for a track car. It's on the firm side, but it's nowhere near as harsh as many track cars that I've driven before. And the engine, it's really, really flexible.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like a turbo, for sure. You can hear the turbo whistle, probably attenuated the fact that it's stripped out in the back. But the way it pulls, that twin scroll turbo, it pulls linearly really hard all the way up to very, very close to that red line. The notchy 6-speed gearbox, short action, short throw, it just adds something that an auto wouldn't give you. For as good as modern day autos are. And the brakes, progressive, sharp, they give you huge confidence to get, put a little bit more pressure down. The retardation is significant even in these conditions. And the steering, it's sharp, turning's really crisp, it's accurate. But yeah, okay, it's probably a little bit light in places, but it's just, this is a car you will grow into for me, and definitely. You'll get to learn it more and more and more. And just a little bit of playtime there where you just put your foot down in first, get that LSD working, and it just brings a smile to your face.
Oh yeah, big time.
So Dan, thank you
cheers,
lots for coming back with another car. Thank you for watching. Any questions, any thoughts, any comments? What would you buy if you had a 12k budget? Drop them below. Give me the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned. Another video next week. Thanks for watching, guys.